Empires aren't always built on armies and gold. Sometimes, they're built on the weirdest ideas you've ever heard, like a king who supposedly kept the sun online, or emperors drinking poison smoothies to live forever, or entire nations believing a rock was the only thing holding the universe together. And the wildest part, these beliefs actually worked. They built cities, funded wars, and kept millions obedient. So today we're counting down the strange beliefs that didn't just survive, they literally built empires. And trust me, number 1 is so insane I almost cut it out. Number 10, Pharaoh human tech support. Ancient Egypt wasn't run by law, it was run by one belief. Pharaoh wasn't just king, he was cosmic tech support. He carried Ma'at, the divine order of the universe. If the Nile flooded too much, Pharaoh lost balance. If famine hit, his divine Wi-Fi must have dropped. Taxes weren't just money, they were offerings to keep the gods satisfied. Pyramids weren't just tombs, they were receipts proving the universe still worked. For over 3,000 years, Egypt held together because people believed one man's bloodline kept the sun rising and reality stable. Even in death, Pharaoh mattered. If his soul failed in the afterlife, the world could collapse. The empire wasn't held by swords. It was held by fear that reality itself might crash if Pharaoh lost connection. And if you thought one guy running reality was crazy, wait until you see an empire convinced a single rock kept the sun from escaping. Number 9, the stone that anchored the sun. The Inca Empire built Machu Picchu high in the Andes without wheels iron or horses. But their greatest power wasn't engineering. It was a rock. In Cusco stood the Intihuatana stone, the hitching post of the sun. They believed this carved block literally tied the sun in place. Rulers staged ceremonies to anchor it, claiming only they had the sacred power to keep the sun from wandering off. This wasn't some side superstition, it was state policy. Because if the sun left, crops failed, people starved, and the empire collapsed. And here's the genius part. By controlling rituals around the stone, Inca rulers controlled the people. Argue with the emperor. You're not just rebelling against politics, you were risking the sun itself. But in China, emperors didn't claim to hold the sun. They lived under something harsher, a cosmic performance review. Number 8, Heaven's Job Review. In China, rulers didn't get a divine bloodline. They got a job contract with the universe, the mandate of heaven. If the empire prospered, heaven approved. If floods, plagues, or rebellion struck, heaven revoked the mandate. That meant rebellion wasn't just allowed, it was righteous. This belief kept dynasties stable, yet flexible. One fell, another claimed the mandate, and the cycle continued. Over 2,000 years of Chinese history ran on this cosmic HR system, and people really believed it. When earthquakes struck, peasants saw it as heaven's bad review. When rebels rose, they justified it by saying, "Look, even the cosmos fired this guy." The brilliance, it turned random disasters into political weapons. The universe itself became Yelp for emperors. But not all empires used heaven as the judge. Some thought water itself was haunted, and bathing could let spirits crawl into your skin. Number 7, the empire that feared baths. Imagine living in medieval Japan. You've got samurai castles, tea ceremonies. But one thing you don't do: baths. For centuries, bathing was seen as dangerous. Water wasn't just water, it was a portal for spirits. Step in, and you risked letting demons slide into your body like malware. So instead of hot tubs, people turned to incense powders and ritual purity. Cleanliness wasn't about scrubbing dirt, it was about spiritual barriers. This belief shaped daily life. Architecture favored dry rooms. Foreigners who loved daily baths considered reckless, like, "Congrats, you just invited ghosts into your pores." And because the ruling class tied ritual purity to loyalty, the fear of water reinforced hierarchy. Avoiding a bath wasn't laziness, it was obedience. It sounds bizarre now, but for centuries the Japanese associated water with chaos, impurity, and danger. Only later, with Western influence, did public baths return as normal. And if you think skipping baths was extreme, wait till you meet emperors who literally drank poison because they thought it made them immortal. Number 6, Mercury smoothies for eternal life. In ancient China, emperors weren't satisfied with ruling the world. They wanted to outlive it. Enter alchemy. Court scientists promised that drinking mercury, yes, liquid metal, would grant eternal life. They called it the essence of life. So rulers like Qin Shi Huang, the guy who built the terracotta army, downed mercury pills and elixirs like they were Red Bull. Spoiler alert. Instead of eternal life, they got a speed run to an early grave. But here's the twist. This wasn't just personal vanity. The whole empire was structured around the ruler being undying. If the emperor was immortal, then loyalty was forever. Taxes were forever. The empire itself was forever. So when the emperor inevitably keeled over, alchemists just said, yeah, it must have been the wrong recipe. Next batch will work. If you thought that was dark, number 5 shows how fear of the afterlife basically turned an empire into a giant pyramid scheme. Number 5, the afterlife pyramid scheme. Back to Egypt, but not the pharaoh this time. This is about the workers. See, the whole pyramid building frenzy wasn't just for glory. It was powered by a belief that if you helped build the tomb, you basically bought yourself a VIP ticket in the afterlife. Every stone laid was like a loyalty point with the gods. The pharaoh's giant tomb wasn't just his, it was your cosmic timeshare. This belief system was genius. It got tens of thousands of people to labor for decades in brutal desert conditions without rebellion. Because in their minds, they weren't just breaking their backs for some rich guy. They were securing eternal life, one limestone block at a time. And honestly, that's the original multi-level marketing scheme. Except instead of free vacations and a blender, the prize was immortality. But don't get comfy. Number 4 shows how an empire convinced its people that the world would literally end unless the gods got a blood delivery. Number 4, feeding the sun with blood. Welcome to the Aztec Empire. Here, the universe ran on a brutal subscription model: blood. They believed the sun was in constant danger of dying, and the only way to fuel it was sacrifice. Not animals, not crops, humans. Captured warriors, slaves, even volunteers, hearts cut out, blood, spilled bodies offered. Every ritual wasn't just religion, it was cosmic maintenance. No sacrifice, no sunrise. This belief shaped everything. Warfare was designed to capture victims, not just conquer land. Temples became giant altars. The state itself revolved around feeding the sun. It's horrific, but it worked. Fear kept millions loyal, and every sunrise seemed to prove the system right. And if you think that's disturbing, number 3 shows an empire where your very soul could be audited like cosmic tax season. Number 3, karma as state control. In ancient India, the concept of karma wasn't just spiritual, it was political. The caste system was built on the belief that your birth reflected your past life's deeds. Born poor must have sinned before. Born a ruler. Congrats, the universe voted you in. This wasn't just faith, it was social engineering. Obedience became destiny. Rebellion wasn't just illegal, it was spiritually pointless. Kings didn't need massive armies to enforce order. People policed themselves, believing their status was written into the fabric of the cosmos. And that belief held India's social pyramid together for centuries. But if karma sounds like invisible chains, number 2 takes it even further, where the emperor's body itself was worshipped like a living god. Number 2, the emperor's sacred flesh. Ancient Rome loved spectacle, but in Japan it was belief that turned rulers into literal gods. The Japanese emperor wasn't just head of state. He was descended from Amaterasu, the sun goddess. His body, his breath, even his words were sacred. This belief gave the throne unmatched authority. Warriors fought, farmers toiled, priests prayed, all under the idea that disobeying the emperor wasn't politics. It was heresy. For centuries, this divine identity kept Japan united. Even into the 20th century, emperors were still worshipped as living deities. Only after World War II did this belief officially break. But for over 1,000 years, millions obeyed not a man, but a god in human skin. And if you think that's the peak of strange power, number 1 shows an empire where the ruler demanded to be worshipped in death and built a city of the dead to prove it. Number 1, the city of the dead. Pharaohs had pyramids, but ancient rulers in Central Asia went even further. Entire necropolises. Take China's first emperor Qin Shi Huang. He ordered a massive underground city, the Terracotta Army. Thousands of clay soldiers, horses, and chariots buried to protect him in the afterlife. This wasn't just a tomb, it was an empire underground. The belief his rule didn't end with death. His power extended into eternity. Tens of thousands of workers built it. Many never left, and all because they believed their emperor's spirit needed an army to keep ruling forever. Its belief weaponized at scale. Convince people death itself can't end your empire, and they'll spend their lives building yours. So what do we learn from all this? Empires weren't held together by swords or gold. They were held by stories, by strange, wild beliefs people took as truth. A king as cosmic Wi-Fi, a rock leashing the sun, an empire fueled by blood. And yeah, number 1 proved even death couldn't kill a good story. If your brain made it this far without rage quitting, drop your weirdest historical fact in the comments. And hey, maybe sub, because unlike Pharaoh, I can't keep the sun rising without you.